Live from our Columbus office, this is Chameleon Cast with Christopher McGurn and Michael O'Connor.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael O'Connor.
And I'm Christopher McGurn.
And this is Chameleon Cast, episode 2, What We Do.
Isn't that fun? It rhymes. We like rhyming here at Chameleon Cast.
We do.
We know Chameleon Cast doesn't rhyme, but
That's true.
you know what? We like episode 2, What We Do.
Yeah,
So
not a real good way to get around that. I feel like chameleon doesn't rhyme with a whole lot, you know?
that's a question for all of you out there. What rhymes with chameleon? If you think of something, please let us know.
Send us a comment.
But yeah, you want to go ahead and explain what this is gonna look
Yeah.
like?
So I think what we really want to accomplish with this episode is to showcase, obviously, what we do, but who we are by what we do. As a company, as individuals, what the future will hold. Because I think we get a lot of questions from a lot of folks about, what our industry is, our products, our services, and we just kind of want to talk about that and provide some context and content about all of that, really.
Absolutely. And again, just as we've mentioned before in a previous episode, the 3 I's of Chameleon Cast, right? Innovation, information, impact. We want this to be of value to you, and we want this to really answer any questions that you may have about, like, what is it that we actually do? What are the services that we provide? What is our industry? And then that is what we're going to be covering. And so let's get right into it. So one of the big questions that we get all the time is, okay, so like, what's your industry? Are you in this? Are you in that? Like, what's your thing? What's your industry? And it's funny because we basically tell them, well, it's a little bit of all of them.
It's a lot.
It's a little bit of everything. So what we mean by that is like, oh, okay, so a little bit of software, a little bit of like web dev, but then we're also in like design, with graphic design, production, with
mobile
video and
apps,
photography, mobile apps.
venture
And we'll go into all of that as far as like the services and whatnot specifically that we provide. But I guess the easiest way to explain it is as far as what industry we're in, we're not in one, we're in many. And Chameleon, it's very hard to be put in a box because we're doing something that's very unconventional and hasn't really been done before to the degree that we're trying to accomplish. And do you have anything to add to that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think to boil down what our industry is, because like you mentioned, it's very technical stuff like software, applications, web dev, UI, UX. It's very kind of creative stuff, design, logos, graphic material, social media content. It's also on the more tedious stuff that people don't want to do, the financial, the legal, the marketing strategic kind of stuff. And I think really to boil it down, I think one thing that we don't necessarily talk a whole lot about or mention a whole lot is obviously our name is Chameleon, but our official name is Chameleon Solutions. And I think really when you look at what we do and the way that we do it, I think our industry really is solutions, is problem solving. I think when you boil it down to what our aim is, the people that we work with, the things that we do, is really we're a solutions agency. And our industry is solving problems and providing solutions for problems big and small to clients big and small.
We're professional problem solvers.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, I think, the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah,
we are professional problem solvers that cover a wide variety of problems. That's the easiest way to explain it. But no, I think that makes a lot of sense of how you explained it, and I think it was very well said. And, to go off of that, like, just, to simplify it as much as possible, we're not really in one specific industry. We're in a lot. And that reflects through our services, which we'll discuss later in this episode. And, I think a lot of people kind of, they have a hard time, and naturally so, I think they have a hard time grasping that. They're like, but like, how are you like in multiple industries? Why aren't you just in one? Why aren't you like more narrow and focused? And again, as we've said before, it's like, well, we're trying to do a little bit of everything because it's not really being done, and we want to be the ones doing that. We want to blaze a trail, so to speak, and start doing like I guess my question as an answer to your question is like, well, why not do it? so many people are like, well, why are you doing it this way? Why are you doing it that way? It's like, well, why not? Like, we haven't seen the problem of like why we shouldn't do it yet, you know?
Because I mean, I think in the last a while, I would say 5 to 7 decades, the main trend in industry has been to be highly specialized, and to be very niche focused, which oftentimes works very well. But you see a lot of companies becoming even more and more higher range, higher generalization. You know, like look at Alphabet, Google's parent company, and all the companies that Google runs. Like the amount of stuff they do is insane. Amazon, the same way. And we're not there yet, but
not yet.
We're aiming high, and I think there's an intense specialization in all of our departments. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we're trying to do something that our people aren't extremely good at, that our people aren't specialized at. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the key is marrying that specialization to a broad client-focused generalization. Mm-hmm. I think that's really one of our main strengths as an organization.
Absolutely. And that goes back as well to our target audience. As we've mentioned before, like, our target audience is the 99% of companies. Mm-hmm. It's not the top 1% like your Googles, your Nikes, you know, your Apple, stuff like that. No, it's the 99% who, you know, need help getting their startup off the ground, who need help with their legal filing and their finance, or if it's, you know, creating a website for them, running their social media. Like, there's so many people, so many businesses that we talk to on like a daily basis who like, oh, like, I just don't know how to do this stuff. And it's like, perfect, you've come to the right place. And it's just, you know, like when our target market is so vast, like it kind of forces us to be in so many different industries. And that's why we are, you know, a little bit of everything and not really put into like one box. Yeah. And so that actually leads very well into our next part of this episode is, you know, when people ask us, okay, so like, what are you then? And we tell them we're a full service agency. And so Mike, go ahead and explain, what does that mean? What does that look like as being a full service agency?
Yeah, sure. I think that really what it boils down to is the kind of ecosystem that we can create as an organization for our client. So for instance, let's say we have a client who needs a certain number of a la carte services that we offer. Something along the lines of, let's say they want to do social media and they want marketing strategy for that, and they want legal to make sure it's all airtight. You know, we can create that ecosystem for them and provide those services. We can also move way up the chain to what we call the full service. Essentially what the full service agency describes is where we're focused on everything that they need in order to be able to do what they're doing and do what they do best. And I think the key to that as well is that if there's something that we don't do yet, or something that we don't have the expertise in, we either learn it, we hire the necessary people, or we have partners who also are fantastic at what they do, and we utilize these different channels to create that environment that is necessary for the client to be the best that they can be. I think that's really the differentiator there, is that the description of the full service agency is not so much a description of a single ism or product that we can offer. I think it's a description of the kind of environment, the kind of experience that we can create and continue in the experiences of our clients. And I think the main thing that creates, it's very complex. It requires extremely high levels of communication between departments, between partners, between teams, but it also creates a natural breeding ground for that innovation that we're always talking about innovation. I think it really creates a breeding ground for that innovation because there are so many moving parts. There are so many different processes and individual kind of attempts at efficiency that it will naturally create these problem-solving solutions and innovations. And I think it's very unique in terms of, you know, the way we titled a full-service agency. I think, honestly, going back to our name, Chameleon Solutions, that we are a solutions-oriented company, I think the bottom line is that what that describes is the way in which we seek to be client-centric, the way in which we seek to provide services is really full service in that we are going to be able to provide you with everything that you want, or at least point you in the direction.
Right.
And I think that's the gist of what we mean by full service. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah. I just to put it very simply too, the easiest way to understand how we have everything set up and the reason why we set it up that way is this. We have it split kind of in two, right? If you want to go with us, you have this idea and you have nothing really done for your idea yet, right? Like you need a website, you need social media, you need a marketing strategy, you need all of this stuff, a logo, all of this stuff. You come to us, we take care of everything for you, right? That's one way. That's like the full service route, so to speak. But we also have an a la carte menu where it's like, oh, I just want one thing, or maybe two things, right? Like I want a logo and a brand book, like my colors and fonts and stuff. We could do that, like just that. You don't have to get everything else. You could just do one or two things, whatever you want to do. It's completely customizable. And at Chameleon, we're all about customization, right?
Yeah.
We're always about tailoring it to that client's needs, as if they were the only client we've ever had. Right, it's that personal. It's that customized. It's that intense. Right, and we're very big believers in that, and really just focusing on okay, they need a TV commercial. Like that could be its own project. We don't have to do anything else. If you want us to, we totally can and we will. But like that's not something that you're obligated to as a client of ours, and that's part of the reason why we set it up the way it is. Is like we're just wanting to help you do what you do best without you having to worry about everything. That's why we exist. That's why Chameleon exists, is to help you do what you want to do, to pursue your dream. Basically, our dream is to help people pursue theirs, right? And in order for us to do that, if that's helping you with one little thing or if that's doing everything for you, we're completely confident and completely content with doing either of those things.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make too. How you mentioned we have those two kind of routes in that, we're not a kind of boutique agency that only accepts full service clients where the entire strategy of the company is kind of in our hands. We're very, it's that what we mean by full service is, I think you said it perfectly, that extreme client focus, so that the full service means it can be everything or it can be a few things. And
that's simply a result of when your target market is the 99% of businesses, you're going to have some businesses that want everything done. They have investors, they're ready to go, boom, 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 and we just get it done for you. You're also going to have a lot of people who are like, oh, I don't have the budget to do all of that, but I am looking for a new logo. And it's like, perfect. Yeah. You come to the right place no matter who you are. It's one place. It's a one-stop shop for everyone, essentially. And that's the thought put behind it. Yeah. And to go from there, now that we've talked a little bit about us being a full-service agency, what that actually means and looks like, now let's go into what are the services? What specifically do we offer? So many times people ask us that, okay, so you do a little bit of everything. So what does that mean? And it's like, okay, let's get specific. So do you want to start and then I'll...
Yeah, sure. So, honestly, first off, a big shout out to John Michael, the third co-founder.
Absolutely.
Who heads up the kind of the development, the software departments. And I think it might as well start there. We do software development, custom software implementation. So we've worked with clients across the spectrum of geolocation softwares, GPS-oriented APIs, the capabilities are really what our clients are looking for. So if
you don't understand what all of that means, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. So in essence, that the whole custom software services, maintenance, all the way to UI UX design, websites, mobile apps, it's really that the full kind of technical section there, and everything in between there, whether that's maintenance, whether that's upkeep, field testing, that's all included in there too. And then it comes to kind of the stuff that I oversee, the marketing, the strategy, the consulting, the legal, the financial, and social media management. I think that kind of blends pretty well into what you do too. Yeah. I feel like we're very collaborative when it comes to a lot of the market, especially social media. I feel like
social media is where we work the most. Yeah. That's where Mike and myself work together on the most is social media, because someone has to provide the content, which is me. Yeah. But then he has to figure out what kind of content do we need, what are the plans, what time of day do we post, who's our target audience here, all of that stuff, which is all so important.
And it's nice now. It's nice because it used to be, back in the day it was literally
you and me.
But now it's I talk to you and
yeah.
you say, the team is working on that. I'll get that to your guys, and then it's all set. So
exactly. That's great.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, and as far as the rest of our services, I'm excited now. Okay, so like as far as the rest of our services, like let's start with design, right? So like that goes with graphic design, logos, brand books. So like your colors, your fonts, all of that stuff, we can do that for you. If that's your social media content, if that's a billboard, an ad for a billboard, or business cards. We have really cool laser etched aluminum business cards that have a QR code that gives all of your contact information straight into the phone. It's for iPhone and Android. Like it's great. Like it's so cool.
A lot of cool stuff.
And everyone freaks out about it, and it's awesome. But like we're gonna be providing those for clients. Marketing materials, all of that stuff, and then we also have production, TV commercials, photo shoots, you name it. Like we do it, and it's and then like you mentioned, like the finance, the legal, the marketing, development of many kinds. So as far as our services, and again, you can find all of this on our website, BeTheChameleon.com. It'll be down on the video. You'll see it there, and you'll see it. It's all of the services with like a more detailed description of each of them, and we're also going to be having examples of that work that we've done, so you can see some of the stuff we've done and clients we've worked with. So I definitely recommend, shameless plug, definitely recommend to check out our new website. It's coming up very soon, and we're very excited for that as well. It's going to be a really cool website update. But yeah, to conclude that section of the podcast, our services really, when we say it's a little bit of everything, it really is. And again, with the intent of one-stop shop for all of your business needs, from getting you off the ground to giving you a new look. And that goes back to our 99% that we're targeting. Like, if you're coming to us with an idea and you have absolutely nothing done, we can do that. We can get you filed as an LLC or an S corp or whatever you need. We can come up with your marketing strategy. We can get your website and social media off the ground. If you're also coming to us and you're 10 years down the road, you already have your business, you already have all of that stuff set up, but you're looking for a new look, a new feel, we can also do that. If you're looking for additional content, we can provide that. So it's literally whatever you guys need. So I mean that's how we have it set up like that, and why we have it set up like that. So yeah, I hope that provides clarity as far as like our services. And again, on our website it'll be more detailed with the list, the official list of services.
Yeah, and also drop us a line, throw a comment below or send an email. We like getting questions from folks as well about what we do and the kind of services we offer. So feel free to reach out to us.
And there's been several times too, I forgot to mention this, there's been several times too where like people have come to us like, can you do this? Which wasn't previously one of our services, and we're like, yeah, we can. And we do it. And we do it well. And it's that whole principle of like adapting like a chameleon does, right? For each client, and being very, very customized, very, very tailored to every single client. And so like if you have something that you're looking for that doesn't necessarily fit in, quote unquote, with any of the services we mentioned, like don't be afraid to be like, oh, they don't offer that. Like, no, we very well could offer that. So it's very interesting how we have it set up. And like we've mentioned before, it's definitely unconventional. It's not really being done before. It's not really being done out there in the industry as a whole. And so that is why we're doing it, and why we're looking to really have that wide variety. So
yeah, that's a pretty good description.
So I guess moving forward then, like, what would you say like you do on a daily basis then? Like what's your job as Mike, the CFO? Like what's your day to day?
I think, and this kind of harkens to one of our sort of unofficial slogans, I would say, which is business is personal and we mean business.
Oh, I just love that so much.
And I think what I do, it's both changed a lot, but it's also stayed the same in many ways. In that, from starting out, we would be the boots on the ground. We would be doing everything. I mean, I'd be doing a ton of paperwork. I'd be doing all the in-depth kind of things to make sure everything was running smoothly, from the marketing to the financial to the legal. And so, I mean, we all wear a lot of hats. I mean, that's kind of natural for I would say for any entrepreneur or business owner. And I think the way that ties into what I do on a daily basis is really because it's I would dare to speak for you and John Michael as well on this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a coupling of the personal and the business, and so.
You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's completely right. He just told me to tell you you're wrong. So I wanted to tell him he was wrong.
I did ask for it. I asked for it.
No, but he's absolutely right. Please continue.
I just say that it's that combination of the business and the personal on a daily basis, which is kind of hard because it means that my personal life is also my business life and my business life is my personal life. So it's a very real on a daily basis. Like you mentioned, like what do I do on a daily basis? It's like, well, I have to kind of combine these two different entities into one. And I'd say that's the hardest part of the daily is number one, being able to adapt very quickly to whatever we're doing as a company on a daily basis. You know, whether it's hopping into a meeting or going over a new strategic project or whatever, it's being very adaptable. Because every day is very different, I would say. Every day is very different. And there are some consistencies. There are plenty of consistencies. But jumping into each day with a business and personal approach. Because, I mean, in the end, it's our livelihoods on the line as you know, as owners, is that it is personal. Like, this is our thing.
It's how I eat. it's
the bottom line.
It's the means of paying rent. It's the means of how I eat.
It's how you live.
Like,
you know, it's a livelihood.
It's very real. It's very
yeah. So I think that the daily is kind of that amalgamation of the business and the personal.
Like I've said before, I seriously feel like I learn new words every time talking to this guy. It's ridiculous. Amalgamation. What does that mean? Can you please explain?
It pretty much means
for all of us non-bougie speakers. Please explain.
Well, the CFO has to
amalgamation. Everyone. Amalgamation.
Pretty much a deep coupling, kind of like similar to. I think where it comes from is amalgams, which are like chemical bonds. I believe. I may be wrong about that. I don't know. A chemist will need to correct me in the comments.
You are a mystery.
But I believe it's a specific bonded kind
word of the day, everyone. Amalgamation. Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and try to follow up with that. I'll probably use simple terms, but no. But I think that was really well said. Amalgamation and all. I think that was really well said. And I think for me, like my day-to-day, so I'm our chief creative officer. I oversee all media, branding, and design. So, something we've said before is I'm kind of like the delivery man in the sense that everything I'm involved in to some degree is a deliverable for a client. Whether that's social media, logo, banners, you name it, everything like that. And, it started out as very difficult. I had to make everything myself when we didn't have a team, when we were just starting. And now, going through that state of flux, all that change and growth of like, oh, now I have a team. I'm not creating, like, that's the biggest thing is I'm no longer a designer. I'm a manager. I'm a director. And I'm overseeing an incredible team of amazing individuals, the designers and the production specialists. And I'm just so honored to work with them. They're doing, like, they're the superheroes. They're the ones that are actually doing everything and holding this company together, and I'm just simply there orchestrating meetings, making sure we're hitting deadlines, making sure the clients are happy, and they're doing all the actual designing and all the grunt work, and they're doing it so well. So I mean, that's my day to day, to put it concisely in simple terms. No, but yeah, I think that's to sum it up. Speaking of summing it up, this is the end of the episode for today.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, time does fly, and we hope you had fun as well. I know we did, and we are going to be having other podcasts coming up. It's going to be every Friday at 12 noon.
Yeah, and another quick update: we'll be actually sending out to Google and Apple Podcasts as well. So right now we're trying to expand, get reach to everyone we can. So if you prefer those platforms, we'll be on there.
Yeah, and if you missed our previous episode, we're also on SoundCloud and Spotify. So we're everywhere. But we've had a blast. We hope this was helpful for you, and until next time.
This has been Chameleon Cast with Christopher McGurn and Michael O'Connor, the official podcast of Chameleon Solutions. Chameleon Cast. Innovation, information, impact.